20 games to go in the regular season, and the Cardinals find themselves 7 games out in the NL Central Division. Maybe a last gasp starting tonight for this 2010 season. It's game number 2, Chicago and St. Louis on Fox Sports Midwest. With Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. And now the Cardinals have Adam Wainwright, who's pitching potentially for the Cy Young Award tonight in Game 2. Carpenter tomorrow in Game 3. So 2 aces going back-to-back.
No doubt about it. And it starts with Adam Wainwright trying to get back on the winning ways. You can see the same date, September 14th last year. He had 18 wins, 18 again this year. Struggled a little bit, didn't get any wins his last final 4 starts last year. Hopefully he will get to 20 and more this year.
Last start for Adam Wainwright was against the Atlanta Braves, the team that originally drafted him. Remember, the first inning, he had 2 pitches and trailed 1-0. And then it was 3-0 after the first. And Wainwright said he went down into the hallway, into the clubhouse, gathered himself, and after that, he was a different-looking pitcher. Now, the Cardinals face a right-hander in Randy Wells, a Belleville, Illinois native, coming off a good season a year ago. And against the Cardinals this year, both starts at Wrigley Field, one good, one not so good.
Absolutely right. The first one is probably a start he just wants to forget about. Never did record an out. 6 straight hits to start this ball game, 5 runs down, and he was pulled from the game. Not like the 12-game winner of a year ago. And then the next time he faced the Cardinals, it was a different story. July 23rd, he wins this ball game with 7 shutout innings, only 5 hits allowed.
So it's a pair of right-handers here tonight. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis, and Randy Wells getting his first start here at Busch Stadium against the Cardinals. When we come back, we'll take a look at the plays of the month from August. That seems like so long ago, but it was not. It was just in the month of August. Cardinals and Reds, plays of the month coming up. It's here at the ballpark. You can find your favorite foods here at the ballpark. Busch Stadium, the site of Game 2, Cardinals and Cubs. Let's go back to August and the plays of the month. Left center! Out of here! Makes the play! Oh, goodness gracious!
Gone! Stephen Hill!
John
J. He launched it. Police bare hands, and he's got it. Right away, Molina and Phillips. Bench is clear. Parker getting into it. There we go. Hold him off. Don't get hurt. Look at this. Well, Molina. Fires it out to deep left center field. Grand slam! Skip Schumacher! It's a sweep in Cincy. This should do it. Ryan is there first. Cardinals win it. Wainwright goes the distance.
This one is over. Garcia gets his first major league shutout.
Good start for Westbrook. 10 pitches, 3 outs, Fair and Miles. Out at second. Down in play. Fantastic play. Brendan Ryan. Gone. Number 31. That one is absolutely crushed. Balls. Oh, goodness. There it goes. A home run. He's closing in on 400. There it is. 400 home runs in the career of Albert Pujols. History tonight in Washington.
Joe Pittini getting his crew ready to go. This weekend, Mizzou trying to take on San Diego State for another win. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stadium. Wainwright, Randy Wells, Cardinals and Cubs, and we've got football, though, this weekend from the Mountain West Conference coming to Columbia, Missouri. San Diego State as the Missouri Tigers, led by Blaine Gabbert and T.J. Moe. What a find he has been right there. Look to go to 3-0. From the Big 12, the Missouri Tigers against San Diego State from the Mountain West Conference. That'll be this weekend, pay-per-view. Call your local cable provider or visit foxsportsmidwest.com. They'll kick that off at 6 o'clock this Saturday from Faurot Field in Columbia. Initially, he had committed to go to Mizzou, and still a big fan. That's Kyle McClellan. Will we see him tonight? Game 2 with the Northsiders just around the corner.
Continues his quest for the Cy Young Award in 2010. Tonight, he'll look for victory number 19. This evening, the Chicago Cubs and St. Louis Cardinals will play in game number 2, and over 40,000 expected tonight at Busch Stadium. Skip Schumacher will lead things off for the Redbirds, and he'll play second base. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is coming up next.
Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. With bold flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life meets flavor. And by Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Busch Stadium as Adam Wainwright will be going for win number 19. He won 19 games a year ago, still trying to find a quest for Rookie of the Year status. And he's trying to go after the Chicago Cubs, who's pitched very well of late the last couple years against Chicago.
And it's another big crowd. We're expecting over 40,000 here tonight. The Cubs and the Cardinals, and Wainwright searching for win number 19. And a chance to go to 19-10. Kosuke Fukudome will lead it off, followed by Blake DeWitt and then Marlon Byrd. Aramis Ramirez, Xavier Nady, Giovanni Soto, Tyler Colvin, Darwin Barney, and Randy Wells. Barney filled in, late insertion into their lineup before game number 1. And a look at the numbers for Wainwright, presented by Marshall Wireless Sprint. 19-10, 2.38 ERA. And over 208 innings thrown this year. So once again, he's had a heavy workload, but that really hasn't been a problem for Wainwright. And I think, Al, if you look at the Cy Young Award candidates, as you mentioned, he's going to be right in that discussion yet again. It'll be interesting, though, if he can get to that 20-win mark, because that is really the magical number. If you can get to 20 wins, it really it gets your attention.
Well, there's 3 people tied for the league lead in wins at 18. Halladay and Osvaldo Jimenez, but he's tied for first in wins, second in ERA. He's second in complete games, third in innings pitched, fourth in strikeouts.
And a look at the defense behind Wainwright tonight. Halladay in left, Rasmus in center, and John Jays in right field. This is presented by Dobbs. Pedro Feliz, Brendan Ryan, Skip Schumacher, and Felipe Lopez gets the start at first. No Albert Pujols, and Wainwright and Molina, the battery. Earlier today, Ryan Franklin, well, you know, he's a country guy. He can handle that. That's no big deal for him, is it?
Well, it's automatic, too.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
And he can back up. He's
well, then now I can handle that. I can handle that.
I was surprised when I was down in Georgia and had a farm down there. How few kids today can drive a stick.
And he's playing chauffeur for some of the pitchers. And how about this? Felipe Lopez out to start at first base.
He didn't get booed. Maybe people haven't realized it, but Albert, with that elbow condition, his left one, kind of gnawing at him a little bit, and plus you've got to give him a little time off, and Tony picks tonight.
Kosuke Fukudome leads it off, and we talked about it last night. He played midway through the game. He went 1 for 2 with an RBI. They start running out of the box, and quickly 2 strikes. He's wearing a protective shin guard on his front leg. He's been dealing with that since midseason. Some bruising there, and here comes an 0-2 pitch. Doesn't get the call on a high delivery, and it's 1-2.
But good to see Adam pitching inside. That's been a factor in helping him erase that 4-game losing streak. Almost gets rung up on the backdoor breaking ball.
It's 78 degrees. Gorgeous night for baseball. Glad you're with us here for game number 2, the Cardinals and the Cubs. 20 games left, 7 games back. Swing and a miss, and Fukudome strikes out the bottom. Dropped out of that pitch from Adam Wainwright.
Adam pulled the string. We talked a little bit in the open, and there you see the changeup. But Adam, who last season, in his last 4 starts, had an ERA under 3, but he was only 1-1. He's already gone through that little tailspin. You know, in his last 5. He won his last time out, so he's 1-5 in his last 5 starts. So hopefully he will get to 20 plus and probably 4 more starts.
Blake DeWitt came over from the Dodgers and now wearing a Cubs uniform. Home of the Throne Rolls is where Blake DeWitt hails from.
Sykeston, Missouri. He's hit .252 with 4 home runs, 17 RBIs in 38 games with the Cubs.
1 ball, 1 strike. Wainwright working from the first base side of the rubber. Yankees have jumped out to a 4-0 lead over Tampa Bay. That's in the top of the 4th. And the Diamondbacks in the top of the 5th lead Cincinnati 2-0. Keep an eye on that. Washington leading 4-0 over Atlanta. Key game for the Braves. Phillies tied up 1-1 in their ball game with the Marlins. Top of the 3rd, and we'll be scoreboard watching from here on out. 3-1 on DeWitt.
No free passes. Go right after him.
Ground ball. Normally I say over to Pujols, but tonight Schumacher to Felipe Lopez. Keys to the game, Adam Wainwright as a starter against the Cubs. Look at that. He started out 0-3 with the high ERA, and since then he's turned it around. 8 starts, 5-0, 2.29 ERA. That's more indicative of what we've seen from Wainwright against all of baseball.
Last 2 seasons, Adam is 4-0, 2.27 against him. 31st start of the year. Leads the major leagues with a 152 home average, as he has just dominated here at home, 11-2.
Marlon Byrd, the hitter. 2 outs and nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Byrd is hitting .297, 0 for 5 last night. You can pencil him in just about every game, 9 in and 9 out for the Cubs. Center field this year. 1-2.
All-Star this year and has hit .263 since the All-Star break.
You have to love the pace at which
Wainwright has attacked the Cubs here in the first inning. He's gone right after him.
That's the way you should pitch. Pitch very aggressively.
And he picks up his second strikeout. 2 in the inning. And the Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. Busch Stadium was used today not just for infield and batting practice, but those dogs in our military here this afternoon.
These dogs and their trainers were training today. They were actually running stadium steps, trying to prepare for their mission to Afghanistan. And it was kind of fun to watch them out on the field. And right after the Cardinals took batting practice, Tony hit fungos to 3 dogs as they were chasing them down in the outfield and retrieving them for their masters.
And the first pitch by Randy Wells is taken for a ball by Skip Schumacher. From Belleville, Illinois, Randy Wells making his 30th start, 6-13 this year. Ground ball hit to short. 1 away. Tony La Russa has this lineup tonight. Schumacher, Lopez, and then Rasmus, Matt Holliday, John Jay, Yadier Molina, Pedro Feliz, Adam Wainwright, and Brendan Ryan. And Tony tonight without the services of one Albert Pujols. It's a big, big bat missing in this lineup.
Well, there's never a good time to take Albert out, but I guess the elbow barking a little bit, but give him a chance to rest that and about 10 other spots in his body, as this time of year everybody's playing a little bit hurt.
Really not a big difference between the lefties and righties against Randy Wells this year. Lefties hitting .272, the righties at .285. Lopez, little chopper towards second. DeWitt, 2 outs. Let's take a look at the defense behind the righty tonight. Tyler Coleman, Marlon Byrd, and Kosuke Fukudome in the outfield. Ramirez, Barney, DeWitt, and Nady along the infield. And it's Randy Wells and Giovanni Soto, the battery tonight, presented by Dobbs.
And we showed the contrast in the 2 starts that Randy made against the the Cardinals this year in Wrigley. First one, never recorded an out. 6 straight hits to open the game. Second one, 7 shutout innings.
And quickly a 1-2-3 inning for Randy Wells. Tony La Russa busy with the dogs that were here. Not hitting fungos to his players, but those dogs retrieving the baseball. Having a little fun. Glad you're with us tonight for baseball from Busch Stadium. It's game number 2 of this 3-game series. The Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. Adam Wainwright going back to work. And he'll deal with the middle of this lineup. Aramis Ramirez, Xavier Nady, and Giovanni Soto. Option for Ramirez after this year for nearly $15 million, and he wants to come back. One more season with Chicago.
Yeah, it's a player option, I believe.
It is.
So he's decided that he wants to exercise it. And guess what? With his numbers, 242, 22 home runs, 73 RBIs, I think you'd run to the bank saying, I want to exercise my option.
Wainwright has not taken a loss against the Cubs since 2007 in St. Louis. And in that game, he only gave up 2 runs over 7 innings. Outstanding here at home. That runs in on the hands of Ramirez. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's Wainwright, good numbers with a home run, 13 for 35. Let's face it, Al, they've had so much turnover since Ron Santo at third base. This has been one of the stable positions for the Cubs over the last handful of years.
No doubt about it, and he's been a very reliable RBI man. 6 years he's had 100 RBIs. There's Mr. Santo. I had a chance to talk to Ronnie yesterday, and good to see him traveling back to St. Louis. He missed the last trip.
3-2 popped up and out of play. Good to see him in good health and traveling with the club, finishing out the year.
I keep on telling him that his Cubbies, and he loves them dearly, they're not conducive to good health. He lives and dies with them, doesn't he?
He sure does. A 3-2. Right down the middle, and he swings through it. Wainwright has struck out 3 of the first 4, and let's take a look at Al's National League Cy Young candidates.
I put these 4 in there, and really I'm talking about the first 3. And I think it is yet to be determined. The only thing that's going to hold Adam back is, if his team does not get to postseason. And probably the other 2 are much more likely, but they're all right there. Adam now is second in ERA to Josh Johnson, who's through for the season, and he's only got 11 wins, so he's not going to be a factor in the Cy Young. I think it's yet to be determined what happens in the next couple weeks.
1 out, nobody on, and the 1-0 is off of Wainwright. It's up play at first, and safe. Nady's aboard with the first base hit. Good effort by Feliz. Tony La Russa out to the middle step of the dugout to check on Wainwright, but Adam doesn't even look over there, and here comes Tony now at the top of the dugout step.
See, off his body and just a close play, but Nady does beat it out. Good look right there as foot was on the bag just prior to the catch. Adam's trying to tell Greg Hawk, the assistant trainer, that he is fine. Kind of a glancing blow the way it caroms off, but looked like it might have got on the back of the calf or the side of the leg where there's a lot of meat there, not bone.
Get concerned when he gets that third and final out and then has to go in the dugout and sit. It tightens up on him. And here is Soto, one of the stars for the Cubs yesterday. He's had a bounce back year at 285, 17 home runs, 52 RBIs. He was perfect last night, 3 for 3. And looks at a breaking ball for a strike.
You can go up there and you can even know that Adam has that very good get-ahead breaking ball, but you're still geared for more velocity on the pitch, so it's hard to look for that off-speed breaking ball, a real slow get-aheader. And you get a cutter out away from you. Mentioned that Adam's starting to pitch a little more inside, as that's starting to help out during his losing streak. He kind of got away from that, pitching inside, and he's back there now.
The 0-2 pitch to Soto. Just missed.
Just by going in there enough to keep those hitters honest, and they don't dive across the plate. He's back out with the cutter again.
2-2.
Soto had the phenomenal rookie season, then tailed off last year down to 218. And a little comeback story this year.
27 years old. 10th year of the Cubs organization. 11th round pick in 2001 as they take a look at the base runner over there and Xavier Nady. Two-two pitch. On the outside corner, it's another strikeout. 4 tonight for Wainwright.
That could pull the trigger on the strikeout. So there's that breaking ball, just frozen. Could pull the trigger. Now 195 strikeouts for Adam, and he's over 210 innings pitched.
Here's Tyler Colvin with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Colvin left the ball game early yesterday as he was hit on the elbow by a thrown pitch.
19 home runs, second most among all major league rookies. 6 shy of the Cubs rookie record. Billy Williams hit 25 back in 1961. We've seen him at the top of their lineup, and tonight he is batting 7th.
Double-digit strikeout game for Wainwright today. He could get to 200 and above strikeouts for the year. Lincecum is at 208. Halladay is at 201.
Coleman has hit 3 of his 19 home runs against the Cardinals this year, 3-0.
Remember, he had back-to-back days. He hit home runs from the leadoff spot. First time in his career he had a leadoff home run and duplicated the next day.
Highly touted pick, 13th overall back in 2006. The 3-0. And he walked him. So in this inning, 2 strikeouts, a single and a walk. Runners at first and second. And it brings in the shortstop tonight, Barney. And again, no Starlin Castro, who was in a collision with Houston's Brett Wallace. Castro was, as Barney had to fill in late, went 1 for 5, and Castro's been dealing with a sore side and a hip, so not in the lineup for the second consecutive game.
Probably will play tomorrow. Barney's been doing a nice job as he's battered around some National League pitchers.
We'll see Chris Carpenter going tomorrow for the Redbirds. Another solid year for Carp.
Barney's hit 357 in the last 10 games.
In the air to center field, over Schumacher and a base hit. Rasmus fires to the plate and safe. 1-0 Chicago. Nady just beat the tag of a strong throw by center fielder Colby Rasmus, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
If you're that runner at second base and you got 2 outs, you should be able to score on a base hit to center field right off the end of the bat, so it's not going to carry far. Almost Schumacher almost gets it. Here you go with Rasmus throwing the ball, and just a little bit up the line, goes around the tag, and Kobe's not that deep, and he's throwing much better of late.
And that's a base hit. Here comes Colvin. He'll score easily. 2-0 Chicago. That's the pitcher, Randy Wells. Wells with his second RBI on this season. Barney with his second RBI.
So, Brendan, we play a lot of guys more in the hole, and just this ball bounced up the middle. Brendan plays deeper than most shortstops, has tremendous range, but his positioning threw him off.
Brings in Fukudome, who struck out to start the game. First time through the lineup, 4 strikeouts for Wainwright. Gives up a walk and 3 base hits.
And you just get the feeling that Adams going to come in and chastise himself for allowing the 7, 8, 9 hitters to do damage with 2 outs. Couldn't do much about Nady's infield single that went off of his leg. But the walk to Colvin, then the 8th and 9th place hitters getting RBI singles.
Fukudome is just 4 for 23 against Wainwright in his career.
Career high 12 home runs, surpassing last year's 11.
And he strikes him out. Fukudome strikes out for the second time tonight. Already 5 in the first 2 innings, but a 2-0 lead. Dates on the Cardinals, Rams, Blues, and more. Facebook.com/Fox Sports Midwest. And it's 2-0 Chicago as we move to the bottom of the second here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Well, happy 60th anniversary to Harry and Ann Opendorfer from Florida, Missouri. How about that? Back in 1950, this date. What were you doing, man?
Not around.
I know you weren't.
What do you think?
I was around, but I wasn't getting married like Harry and Ann. But congratulations. 60 years of marriage. Wedded bliss. Something that you and I both know a lot about.
Here's Holiday and looks at a ball inside. 2-0 Chicago. 7, 8, and 9. Coleman walked. Barney is single. Wells is single. And another familiar theme for the Cubbies. 2-out RBI base hits, and they had that last night in Game 1.
I was talking with Mark McGuire, and I said, what was the difference in Randy Wells? Game 1 against the Cardinals, never recorded an out. And then his next start against the Redbirds, where he shut them out for 7 innings on 5 hits. And he said, basically, that first time around, we were extremely aggressive with the first fastball, but it was elevated. Looking for a fastball that was up. And then the second time around, he kept the ball down. He's got that good sinking action and slider. And we got a lot of ground balls and didn't do anything with it.
On the inside corner, 3-2 on Matt Holliday. Holiday here, and then John Jay and Yadier Molina.
Boy, it seems like Matt has been rung up on a lot of pitches that have been inside lately.
Trying to get to that century mark in RBIs. He's at 92. And you know he'd love to get to 30 home runs. He has 26 and batting .308.
Well, he's really been swinging the bat well in September. He has a history of doing that. And this year against Chicago Cub pitching, a .372 average. Surprising, no home runs and just 4 RBIs, but
popped up. Foul territory. 1 away. Catch made by Nady, who's now playing at first base with the trade of Derek Lee to Atlanta. And Nady has also been dealing with recovery from arm surgery, so good place to put him, a place that he doesn't have to throw more than likely over at first base.
Nady's been playing a lot more in the last few weeks, especially after Lee was traded, but sure his recovery was, the 1 year mark was early July.
You're thinking this late in the season when you first saw the schedule, Cubs, Cardinals, pennant race.
Most definitely.
Derek Lee at first, Albert Pujols at first, and tonight we've got Nady and Lopez. You didn't think that. 1 ball, 1 strike. No disrespect to those two, but no. Lee and Pujols are 2 of the best at their position.
But I think Albert, needs a day off. The elbow is probably the most likely suspect, which kept him out of lineup. I think you ask both managers, they would say their strategy for the season went awry if these two guys were not in the lineup. And of course, Lee's been traded, and Lou Piniella has retired. Matt Sinatra is a real close friend with Lou Piniella, and Matt been on Lou's staff ever since the Seattle days. And I asked Matt today if he'd talked to Lou, and he said yes, he did. Asked how his mother's doing. He said, well, today's a bad day, but he's doing better, and I think Lou is happy with his decision. We'll see how he survives next spring.
He'll get the itch.
Oh, sure.
2-2 on John Jay. Broken bat hit to short. 2 outs. Cardinals have a great deal for all college students and staff. It's college nights. They feature discounted loge box seats for just $10 for select September games. And to get your tickets, for more information, visit cardinals.com/college. Here's Molina. Yachty hitting .257, 2 for 2 last night. 6 homers and 54 RBIs. Cubs pitchers tied for 6th in the National League, 81 quality starts this year. And the Cardinals in San Francisco lead with 86. Offense at times, though, has been missing for St. Louis. That really, Al, has been one of the problems here. You get past Holiday and Pujols in this lineup, there are others that need to step up, and it just hasn't happened. It all hasn't clicked, it seems like, this year.
And you get by Holiday and Pujols, you got an awful lot of young hitters. Yachty got off to a slow start. Schumacher, Brendan Ryan. Got a bunch of rookies in there, and just things just never started clicking on a consistent basis.
It's pulled foul. We're talking about Lou Piniella. Well, it's Mike Quaddy, who is the Cubs manager, and the Cubs are 12-7 in the 19 games since he took over on August 23rd. That's the 4th best record in the National League in that span, and there's some talk that maybe you'd want to bring him back.
He would like to come back, and a lot of people think that how the ball club has responded under his direction. He was the third base coach, but 17 years of minor league managerial experience. So, I mean, he's earned this right, and the first shot at the helm of the ball club, they have responded very well. Sandberg is also under consideration.
Foul tip. Yachty's still alive. It seems like there could be a lot of movement among managers this year. Joe Girardi is up in New York. Tony La Russa here in St. Louis. Lou Piniella has already left Chicago.
Dusty Baker, Joe Torre.
Yeah, some pretty big names. (3-2) to Molina. Yachty smokes one into left center field. Bird over to cut it off, and he kicks it to the wall. And Molina is going to wind up at third base. Bird kicked it to the wall, and then he tried to pick it up and misplayed that.
Well, you can see that clearly they had the center fielder playing over, so a long run for the center fielder Bird, and there you see where he kicks it. Still seemed like he had some trouble, then tried to miss there. Yachty was pulling up into second base. He knows he's got a double, but he almost came to a stop still right there at second, but then he sees it, it gets away, and just turn on the afterburners, and goes over to third without a play.
Pedro Feliz with 2 outs. Cardinals trailing 2-0. It's a double and then an error on Marlon Byrd that allows Molina to advance to third. Grounder hit to short, and this will do it. Cardinals strand their first runner of the night, but Yachty winds up at third following his double. Third inning rolls in when we come back. And it'll be 2, 3, and 4 against Adam Wainwright. And we'll visit with Lou Brock in just a little bit. He'll come up in the bottom of the third. The Hall of Famer has a golf tournament coming up and a chance to visit with the great Lou Brock. That'll be fun to do.
Wait a minute. You get to visit with Lou Brock, and I get to visit with the cat?
Yes, sir.
Did he get beat up in his cat fight today?
I didn't see. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised either.
Of course not.
Always find your favorite foods here at Busch Stadium. There's a ground ball. Schumacher back to Lopez. They got him by step.
Almost did not recover. As Lopez tried to do an impersonation of Albert going so far to his right.
Yeah.
Realized that Schumacher was there, so he got back to the bag just in time. Get a better look at it here. Albert ranges further to his right than anybody else, but Felipe goes, all right, wait a minute, I'll go back to first. My second baseman's right there. And you see he did get the foot down.
That's past Felipe Lopez and off the State Farm side, and now it's tucked underneath there. And Byrne winds up with a one-out double. Take a look at our text poll presented by U.S. Cellular. How many hot dogs can you eat at a game? 1, 2, 3, or more. Only one wrapped in bacon. Al can attest to that. Text dog A, B, C, or D to 432-432.
Now the one wrapped in bacon also has a little chili underneath it and everything else. We used to make fun of that, but then I tasted it one time and it's delicious.
I brought my 5-year-old down here. He had 2 hot dogs, bag of peanuts, brownie, cookie, ice cream, 2 sodas. And lived to tell about it. And a few nachos, too. Big appetite. 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramirez struck out back in the second.
Ramirez had a lot of nagging injuries this year, and just a 207 average the first half.
Popped up, going out. Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, with it. 2 outs.
Pitchers always trying to change speeds, get a hitter off balance. And this is an end result. Way out in front, off that front foot, lose your balance. You can't drive a ball.
And Wainwright wants to visit with Molina.
And he has a base hit the first time. That was the one that was off the leg of Wainwright for an infield single. Good numbers against Adam. 7 for 17. And he's hit safely in 17 of his last 22 games. Over 320. 2 for 4 with a pair of runs scored in last night's victory for the Cubs.
That's ripped into left field. Holiday will fire to the plate. 3-0 Chicago. Another 2-out base hit. Nady is 2 for 2.
Not only that, but just the ball right in the middle of the plate. Down a little bit, but catching too much set up inside, and that ball is not inside. Right in the middle of the plate, just hammered out to left. See Burt coming in there. Gotti steps up in front of the plate because he didn't have the ball, so time is called by see where runner was a little bit past halfway to third. The ball got out to Holiday. Called timeout because Felipe was playing back behind Nady, the runner at first. Now he's guarding him. There you see, just a little bit beyond, and still a couple steps away from the bag when Matt starts throwing the ball.
2 outs and a 1-0 pitch to Giovanni Soto. Backhanded by Feliz. Across to Lopez. Chicago adds to the lead. Xavier Nady with his 31st driven in. 3-0. First inning, Budweiser, it's what we do. Cubs. It's hard to say we're going to visit with a former Cub. And that is the great Lou Brock, the Hall of Famer, of course, known better for his days in St. Louis. How are you, Lou?
I'm well today. How are you?
I'm doing great. And the Cardinals, well, what happened? Last time we saw you, this team was in first place, but now they're struggling.
Well, that's one of those things that you can't account for. And you're right, they are struggling. And the fact is that no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't happen.
And we've seen there's been a little bit of a disconnect with the offense, and for whatever reason, this team has just not been able to put it together. And I know you don't miss many games. What have you seen?
Well, I've seen the fact is that we don't have the chemistry, and how do you get it? I don't know. Yeah, you search for it for a long time, and all season long we've been searching for it. We haven't found it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now, we'll talk some baseball, but let's get to business first. You have your annual fundraiser coming up. You've got a golf tournament. You've got a fashion show. Your wife is going to head that up. It all benefits Lindenwood University, and that's coming up on the 26th of this month out at Bogey Hills. Tell us about your golf tournament.
Well, we're excited about it. It's the 18th year, and it's on Monday. We have a 1 p.m. shotgun, and it's at Bogey Hills, as you say, and we're looking forward to a lot of people being there. The fashion show the night before is my wife, Forte. She loves the fact that they can march and watch and walk down the runway, and with a lot of people for a great cause. And so we're going to look and see that dinner as well as the fashion show and the golf game.
Now tell us about why you chose Lindenwood University and where those funds go.
Well, of course, Lindenwood University is much like Southern University. We have a scholarship endowment fund there to aid ball players and actually needy students. So student in need, I should say. And
sure.
So this fund goes for that as well.
That's great. Lou Brock is with us, the Hall of Famer. Here's Brendan Ryan following the strikeout of Adam Wainwright. Cardinals trailing by the score of 3-0. You know, when you look back at your time and at the time that you were traded from Chicago to St. Louis, you weren't sure what may happen with that team that first year. That team was able to turn things around, and lo and behold, all of a sudden you guys won, and won a lot.
Well, that's true. And the fact is that it came on June 15th, and we were the Cardinals, that is.
Yeah.
The Cubs was ahead of the Cardinals at the time. And I left a note for Ernie Banks that I'd see him in the World Series. Little did I know that would happen.
That's great.
One of those things that really took place. But again, somebody had to step up and light the fuse to enthusiasm. And I guess I was that guy that year.
And you were the guy. There's no doubt. And Mike Shannon was called up. Still, you were waiting to see what would happen with Mike, and he was a highly touted prospect, and everything got together. By the way, there's one of your buddies.
Yeah, Kenny Reese, yeah, and it looked like he's having a good time.
Kenny Reese, and his son works for the Cardinals.
The Zamboni machine.
Yes, sir.
He picked third base.
You know, Lou, we've talked about this before, and you look at the Cardinals, and it's kind of station to station right now with this team, and waiting for that home run to be hit as Ryan grounds to third, and Ramirez just beat it by step to Brendan Ryan. Good effort there by Ramirez. But I've asked you this before. Do you think base stealing and the art of it is kind of gone by the wayside?
I think it's coming back. We are now past the steroid period, and you no longer wait for the long ball. You got to create something out there. So when you strand 12 men on bases like we did the other night, that means that we are not moving, and perhaps a lot of hits with 2 outs. But you got to be in motion. Not that you're going to steal a lot of bases, but it's a different game today.
Here is Schumacher, who grounded out to short. So here's Brendan Ryan. Tell me what you see at first base, or how you would teach him in spring training about trying to steal a base. He's got good speed. Give me your keys and what you try to tell him to do.
Well, at this point, he's in pretty good shape because he's looking into home plate. The catcher can't see him because Schumacher's standing there. So you have the liberty to move off the base a little further. You have to move in sync with the first baseman or with the hitter standing there. So right now he's looking for instruction. So he takes the lead. He doesn't have a big lead, but he can. That is a big lead. So it draws the throw right away. So, again, I don't know the synchronization between he and Schumacher at this point. Most of the time, my hitter behind me knew when I was going to go. We had a signal. And not that you're going to steal base every time, but you're in motion. And that motion means that somebody on defense is out of position. Ground balls get through.
What would be your key? You're Brendan Ryan. You're standing at first base. You're watching the pitcher. What would be your key to that split second to go?
Well, of course, the pitcher on the mound, when he rocks towards second base, or any little movement that indicates that he's going to throw the ball home. That is what he's going to read, and it's a little tough to say what it is at this moment because it may very well be a shoestring that moves just because he made a motion.
So just little things like that.
Yeah.
Anything you can find.
Correct.
Now, is Jackie going to get you involved with the fashion show?
I think she wants to.
Now, do you want to?
Well, I have no choice in the matter. I'd probably walk down the runway as well. And let me say, Dan, people can reach us at LBGO. Just text LBGO.
There's Ryan to get a good jump and a stolen base. Make sure you give that out a bunch of times. LBGO.
LBGO at 94932. Text me at LBGO 94932.
32. Okay.
Yeah.
Two outs, count of 1 ball and no strikes on Felipe Lopez. So, Lou, let's go back to the steal here for Brendan Ryan.
Okay, that's a good crossover here. Look like he's pushing off on his back foot, which is the left foot here, and he's digging hard. And somewhere there is the power step in which you saw the dirt click from his cleats. That means he had a good jump, and they got power in his run.
Now, you weren't shy about going into second base. You went in hard.
Well, because I really didn't know how to slide or get to the big league, so the only thing I could do was go in that hard and hopefully force the infielder out of the way, and it worked for years.
Oh, did it ever? So here's a slide to Brendan Ryan.
Now, what you don't want here, what he did is he dropped the left hand. Generally, that's where you have the wrist get sore from pounding the ground that way. he wanted to go straight into the base. The only reason he went that way off to the side, making sure he didn't hit that base to jam his foot. So sometimes that slow down your slide, but it's also save you too from injuries.
And there's a strikeout for Wells. Will you stick around one half inning for us?
Sir, of course.
Or do you have to go?
No, I'll stay with you.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
Lou Brock is with us. Underway, and Tyler Colvin leads off the top of the fourth. Lou Brock, the Hall of Famer, is with us. And coming up, the 18th annual Lou Brock Golf Classic, as Colvin hits it out of play. That'll be Sunday, September 26th. The celebrity dinner and auction, and also Monday, the golf at Bogey Hills Country Club. Great course, 11 a.m. registration and lunch. And then a shotgun start at 1. And you have a awards dinner at 6:30. It's a four-player scramble. And it's $300 per player, $1,000 for a team of 4. There's a base hit for Colvin out to left. And Lou, the number again is 636-949-4427. 636-949-4427. Or how about the text?
Okay, text is big. Text LBGO to 94932. LBGO to 94932.
Okay. Here's Darwin Barney. Barney has an RBI single back in the second inning. Runner at first. Lou, this has been such a strange year. You could have a Cy Young Award winner. Certainly a candidate here with Wainwright, Carpenter right behind him. Garcia could be your Rookie of the Year. You had Pujols, who had an outside chance to win the Triple Crown, certainly has a chance to win the MVP. Bullpen's been pretty good. Closer's been fine for the most part. And yet this team is 7 games out. That's just hard to figure out, isn't it?
Well, it is. And, of course, nobody has the answer. But we keep digging for an answer. I don't know how much time we got for that to happen. But the fact is that we do have a good ball club. And just so happens it didn't work well for us this year. So why? We don't know. And I think if Tony had the answer, he would have instituted a long time ago. The ball club had one. He would have instituted as well. But somewhere out there, somebody had to catch fire. And so in certain cases, we didn't see that.
Take a look at the man to my right a few years ago, the great Lou Brock, elected to the Hall of Fame back in 1985.
Well, I'm going to see if I slide my hand on the. No, it did. Yeah, the right hand goes down. But again, it's just sort of a perfect slide into the base.
1 ball, 1 strike. Fair ball off the bat of Darwin Barney. He pulls it just inside that third base line. It's a double, and it's second and third with nobody out against Adam Wainwright. What is it like when you run into a Chicago Cubs fan? I always hear about when you run into a Cardinal fan, but what about when you're in Chicago, maybe doing a signing or at the ballpark, you're at Wrigley? What do the fans say to you?
Well, the word St. Louis Cardinals is radioactive when you use it there. Same difference here in St. Louis. You use the word Chicago Cubs is radioactive as well. But the Cubs fan often talks about the trade. They wish it could not have happened, but it did. In St. Louis, we talked about the glory from that trade, and that is the World Series and the championship that we had.
Out to left, and that drops in for a hit. Randy Wells picks up his second RBI.
This is incredible. The Cubs, everything they hit falling in, and it seemed as though it doesn't matter whether they're in last place or first place or third place. When they play the Cardinals, there's something about that rivalry, bragging rights, that make a team like this ride to another height.
Randy Wells, the pitcher, has seen 2 pitches at the plate tonight. 2 for 2, pair of singles and a pair of RBIs.
And it's not that easy.
No, it's not.
Especially when your pitcher is well.
Here's Fukudome with nobody out, runners at the corners, and a 4-0 Chicago Cubs lead. Again, Lou Brock's tournament, 636-949-4427. To find out more. That pitch was up and hammered foul.
Well, if you're a golfer and you think you're a golfer, we certainly like to have you there. In as much, we played a golf tournament this year in Cooperstown, New York, at Whitey's tournament, and at the induction, Whitey team came in third, I believe. Jackie, who doesn't play golf, my wife,
yeah,
we came in second, and Andre Dawson came in first.
Is that right?
Yeah. So.
Well,
I said all of that to say you don't have to be a good golfer to come out and have fun. So if you can play a little golf, perhaps not at all, come on out and have fun anyway. There's nothing like driving a ball off the tee or trying to putt it in that little hole. And so we players, after baseball, all think that we can do something with the golf ball. But it's bragging rights among ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's Monday, September 27th. That'll be the golf at Bogey Hills Country Club. And the night before will be the celebrity dinner and auction. The 2-1 pitch. Are you a pretty good golfer?
No, I had to practice it. I for years, I didn't want to play golf, and I didn't want to get caught up in this thing that you got to go to the golf course every day. Then I got embarrassed to it because some of the kids out there were driving the ball so far, and then you're sitting there as an ex-athlete.
Right, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you get called out. So now I play a little bit. I can hold my own.
2-2 pitch to Fukudome, who was struck out twice tonight. How about the induction ceremony for Whitey? What did you think?
I thought it was tremendous. I saw a lot of people there from St. Louis, and it was a Whitey, a St. Louis Cardinals event this year. They had the parade and riding in the parade for the first time at the Hall of Fame. They saw a lot of St. Louis people that were rooting. They knew their baseball, and so most of the other Hall of Famers wondered why all the Cardinals were getting all of these accolades. It was simply because it was Cardinal Nation Day at the Hall of Fame.
A 3-2 pitch to Fukudome. Got him. He is struck out for the third time tonight, 0 for 3. We see that Wainwright, for this generation of pitchers, has a very good breaking ball. How about the toughest curveball you saw?
Probably Ernie Broglio as the right-hander. That ball went straight down, and there was another guy by the name of
Are you sure you're just saying that because Brolio was the other half of the deal and you got a little bit of the better half?
No, he had a good curveball. I mean, I couldn't handle that at all. So naturally, that's perhaps the reason I got traded.
Here's Blake DeWitt with runners at the corners.
Now, you got to remember, Ernie won about close to 60 games in 3 years. And he was a heck of a pitcher.
Well, at the time, people were going crazy here and they said, well, who is Lou Brock?
Well, I know. I wondered that, too. Who is Lou Brock? but for Brolio was a fine pitcher, and he was a starter and a reliever at the same time. And so he got a lot of innings in. And,
well, that was neat to see him come back last year with his son and come to St. Louis. And at your tournament, I know it was kind of emotional for him, wasn't it?
It was. In fact, Ernie and I have kept up with each other over time, and so inviting him back, as I said, bringing him back, but inviting him back was a big thing, and he wanted to come and bring his son. We all got to know each other, and we have known each other personally, Ernie and I, for a long time, but the families for the first time got together.
I'm curious, and you have a great perspective on this. You played for the Cubs. Why have the Cubs struggled for 100+ years? Why do you think they can't get over the hump and win? Day baseball? Is it the curse? Is it what is it?
I really don't know. I was in Chicago for 3 years, and we just had trouble winning. For the most part, one of the things was an attitude during my era. I can't speak for that ball club today, but as the leadoff man went to bat with the Cubs, most of the time I struck out or didn't do well. I got the question asked, what did he have? What was that? Which means they took inventory on my bat. When he got to St. Louis, they all said something like, go up there and show them what we can do. Oh, I'm part of something.
So a different attitude.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, it was it at that time.
Sure.
Yeah.
2-2 the count here on Blake DeWitt with one out, runners at first and third. 4-0 Chicago.
You got another big factor you have to enter in, and that is the history of the ball club. You walk into St. Louis, you got footsteps of the past. You walk into Yankee Stadium, there are footsteps of the past, and that's the tradition of winning the Cardinals way. You can't say that for Chicago. There is no tradition of winning the Cubs way. So how did that translate on the field?
Losses and wins.
Yeah.
5-0 Chicago. And the way that this game started, you thought that Wainwright could really shut the door, but he's getting knocked around. That's 9 hits he's allowed and trying to get through this 4th inning. One out, runners at first and second, and it brings in Marlon Byrd.
I even think guys like Wainwright feel the pressure as well, because right now he's trying to do too much with the pitch. A few weeks ago, that was not true. We had a shot at it. Now he's trying to be the stopper, the guy who stopped this trend, and as a consequence, his pitches are over the plate a lot more.
67 pitches total so far. Do you get the feeling when an offense doesn't struggle, Lou, that the pitchers all of a sudden feel that they've got to put up a 0 every inning, or if the pitchers are struggling, that the offense feels, well, we got to score 6 or 7 runs every night just to have a chance?
Well, that's true. In fact, some team can rally around that. I know my pitcher's having trouble. Today we got to score 10 runs, and let's go get them. You set your sight for that purpose and go out to get it. And it's strange when you set goals for the game, but most of the time you can reach it.
Yeah.
When you play the game, you know that you can walk in the clubhouse and say, Dave, we're going to score 10 runs. And somebody invariably say, wait, we're going to lucky to score 1. You pick a number, and then you aim for that number. You find that all of the things and woes of the game are put on the shelf, and you aim for this number. It's worked sometimes, but not all the time.
We're visiting with the great Lou Brock, and he has his 18th annual golf classic coming up. And that's coming up later this month in September. Slowly hit to third. Feliz will step on the bag and gets the lead runner. There's a lot of talk about managers and what may happen after this year. And it seems to be the case every year. But here's Tony La Russa in his 15th season. You're in spring training all the time. Tell me about your relationship with Tony and what you have picked up from Tony and watching what he does in that dugout.
Well, Tony's like, I mean, he's a micro manager. I mean, he actually manages just about every pitch, every inch of the game. That calls for great concentration and great attention to the game. And he may not be aware, cognizant of who may be around him simply because of that. Then you got other managers who's aware of the whole thing, and they may not even be so isolated on the minute part of the game. So Tony has that ability to just concentrate on the game, much like a hitter can concentrate at bat. And so he has been highly successful because of that. But you can also play the game the other way, like the Mickey Mantle. They played it loose and what have you. And there was always laughter with the Willie Mays, the Musio. Today, there's not that much laughter in the game with guys having fun. Now, they could be having fun, but it's not expressed that way.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense, too. You see that all across the board in baseball.
Yeah.
You see the specialization of video. And some people believe in that. More and more, I think people do believe in that in modern-day baseball. But even some of those guys say, well, you know, hitters rely way too much on the video. Just react. Use the video as a tool to an extent, but react when you're up there.
Well, that's it. The whole thing about reacting to the ball. I always say to people, the thinking man, we all be graduate of Yale and Harvard. But because you just play the game and hit, run, and throw. So, which means that you have to react to what you see, react to what you think, and you also have to bring it to the other team. What I mean by that, play your game and force them to play defense. When you put too much credit on the opposition, normally they wipe you out.
Yeah. So are you saying put the ball in play, bunt, hit and run?
Put it in play, make them do something.
Sure. Don't sit around. Try to generate offense. 1-2 the count on Ramirez. Runners at first and second. What has been a struggle tonight for Wainwright. 2-2 the first inning. He cruised through it. Had 2 strikeouts. And the Cubs went 1-2-3. But since then, it's been a struggle. And trying to get out of this 4th inning, the Cubs have scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 more here in this 4th inning. 2-2 with 2 on. And a strikeout for Wainwright. Again, the Lou Brock Golf Classic coming up September 26th and the 27th. Number to call 636-949-4427 or the text
LBGO to 94932.
Great seeing you, April. Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010. It features play-by-play, video highlights, live audio broadcasts. For more information, visit Cardinals.com today. Once again, one final time, the great Lou Brock and his golf tournament, the 18th annual Brock Golf Classic, September 26th and 27th.
And the number to call is 636-949-4427.
And that was great of you to acknowledge, Lou, that you're going to be in Jackie's fashion show.
I will not.
The Lindenwood Fashion Show.
I volunteered you to do it.
Monday, September 27th. I know you'll be there. And boy, I tell you what, I accused Lou of
base hit up the middle.
Accused Lou of thinking he was still a Cub.
Well, he wouldn't do that. Base hit for Colby. This date in baseball history, 1994. Bad day. All 28 owners vote to cancel the remainder of the baseball season, including the playoffs and the World Series back in 1994. And there's no doubt, dark day in the sports history.
No doubt about it. I was very concerned if they did that something the fans had cherished for centuries and look forward to the postseason and playoffs, World Series, that all of a sudden they would find they could survive without it. And players run that risk. And you and I were both talking. We hope the football can get together and have some labor peace.
BJ Rains has a story right now up at FoxSportsMidwest.com, and he says that Pujols has tendonitis in his left elbow. Had an MRI on Sunday, September 5th, which was the last day of the Reds series here at home. Also said he considered leaving the team in Milwaukee on the last road trip to get it taken care of. As a cortisone shot, wants to be back in the lineup tomorrow. No surgery or anything, but you can read more about the story at FoxSportsMidwest.com. Oh-2 pitch. Holiday out to deep left. And that ball, one hops off the wall. Rasmus being waved in. He will score. And the Cardinals get on the board. It's 5-1. Holiday with RBI number 93. And it's another double. This is the most he has hit since back in 2007. 41st. It's tied for third in the National League. First time he's hit 40 doubles in a season since he had 50 in 07, which led the league.
Just talk about dropping the bat head on that pitch down and in, and he is so strong, just a line drive hitter. Rifles it one hop off the wall. As you mentioned, drives in his 93rd run. Probably a little bit casual when he comes home there, as he started coasting maybe a little bit too soon. And of course, John Jay probably has to get his attention a little bit better and let him know that they are making a play.
Jay, opposite field, slicing, and the catch made. Colvin makes a catch. No, Alfonso Soriano out left. He was playing pretty shallow for John Jay and makes the catch. One out, runner at second. Here's Molina. This series with runners in scoring position, that's a difference, and a lot of those have come with 2 outs for Chicago. They're 10 for 23, and the Cardinals 1 for 11.
A little surprised to learn that the Cubs have hit 261, tied for 4th in the National League, with Milwaukee and Atlanta behind Cincinnati, Colorado, and St. Louis. St. Louis still has a 263 average, but you got to be in the middle of the pack and runs scored. Not as many extra base hits.
The things we were talking about with Lou Brock, the fact that this team is very much relying on the long ball and station to station, not much speed.
Well, that's it. I mean, and when they do get base hits, the vast majority are singles.
Slowly hit to the left side. Molina retired. Doubled earlier in the game. Bush Bash is this Friday, and Whitey Herzog will be signing autographs in the Ford Plaza prior to the game against the San Diego Padres. Still good seats available. That's also the wall cling set night here at the ballpark. Bush Bash, Whitey Herzog. Tickets at Cardinals.com. There's a look at Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire.
And, you know, a lot of singles hitters. They are not showing great patience at the plate. They don't walk a lot. So it's, you have to get, you know, in some cases 4 hits to score a run.
A liner and caught by Ramirez. I'm going to say that's a catch. Did not short hop. And Feliz is retired for the second time. Cardinals, though, get on the board.
Rams on Rams All Access. This week we profile Danny Amendola, meet Jason Brown's dog, learn how to run a route with Laurent Robinson, and preview Sunday's game in Oakland. Catch Rams All Access Friday at 5:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Well, the Cardinals got some work to do, and Adam Wainwright has already surrendered 9 hits in this ballgame. He has struck out 7, and the Cardinals trail 5-1. Nady, 2 for 2. Takes his liner. Called strike, a little bit up and inside. Nady hit one back off of Wainwright for an infield single and then an RBI single. Another breaking ball. Curveball this time. Nady's 2 for 2 out of the 5 spot. Then 7, 8, and 9 have not been retired tonight by Adam Wainwright. Breaking ball up the middle. Schumacher fields it and throws him out.
And Schumacher positioned perfectly up the middle. Ball wasn't hit all that hard and has went out here in the top of the 5th. Now, what have we seen here with Adam Wainwright as we get a look at the positioning of Skip Schumacher?
Well, it seems like an awful lot of breaking balls. A few of them are up, don't have the sharpness. You know, he has struck out 7, but, you know, we've kind of gotten away from spotting the fastball, and a lot of pitches up over the middle of the plate. Another cutter.
Here's Soto, ball 1. Arizona, top of the 9th, leading Cincinnati 3-0.
Fastball away. Up over the middle of the plate. So fastball command has been a little bit off. A lot of clubs today, Dan, you know, pitchers will consider the cutter to be a fastball. And in my mind, it's the old-fashioned slider. There's the curveball. You'll find that his curveball will be, you know, in the low 70s, the cutter will be 87, 80, 88, 89 miles an hour. Fastball velocity, a little bit over 90. And then he's throwing a changeup that he throws a little harder than what you might suspect. That's one he learned from Lincecum at the All-Star break, and that'll be usually around 84, 85.
Soto's only hit .238 against right-handed pitching this year, and .283 overall. It's a high fly ball out to left. Holiday under it for out number 2. Be good to see Wainwright have a quick inning here. He's now at an even 80 pitches on the night.
But Dan, here's where, if you're going to be a successful pitcher, you have to dominate against the lower third, 7, 8, and 9. And tonight, you can see what they have done. There's the lower third of just, 5 hits and a walk. And with the RBIs, you got 3 RBIs, including 2 by tonight's starting pitcher, Randy Wells, who had 1 all season long.
Colvin. Schumacher to Lopez. Quick inning for Adam Wainwright. He'll lead it off when we come back. It's 5-1 Chicago. Be a question tonight. Since 2000, which season did the Cardinals score 1 run or less in a game the most times? 2007, 34, 010, 28. Wainwright, a drive into center, and the catch made by Bird on the track.
Casual as he went back and hauled that one in.
Did that last night too, Al.
He sure did.
Very casual and very calm going back on the ball.
Happy birthday to Debbie Stevens, the beautiful wife of Tony Stevens. That's all I can read is Tony's note here because it's so soupy and flowery, but happy birthday, Debbie.
Brendan Ryan looks at his strike. Randy Wells, first time we saw him this year. 6 consecutive hits to start the game, knocked out. Second time he goes 7 innings, and here tonight looking very good. He's given up 4 hits as he's pitching here in the 5th. I'm sure, Al, there's some butterflies with first appearance here at Busch Stadium. Family and friends here, no doubt, from Belleville, Illinois.
Randy has a golf tournament over on the east side, and Samardzija He cemented himself for the future rotation for the Cubs with his performance last night. And Randy has a golf tournament on the east side. I think it's Clinton County Country Club. And I believe Randy told me that is going to be November 6th.
And it's the Randy Wells Striking Out Diabetes Golf Classic.
I played in it last year in Clinton Hills. And I played in it last year and met his entire family.
That'll find the seats out of play. Randy Wells was actually a Rule 5 pickup and then returned to Chicago. And the Cubs are thankful that he's in their rotation.
I think he was a 39th round draft pick too. So, you know, we always talk about the first rounders, but a lot of times how you judge a draft is how many of those sleepers can you develop.
Popped up. 2 outs. That's one of them. 13th round pick, Albert Pujols. The Krispy Kreme dozen deal. If the Cardinals get 12 hits tonight, you're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. And you'll receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $2.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal.
You know, Albert was 13th rounder, but you're still around, you know, inside 500 picks. I think about around the country and the world. So, but
most famous of those picks probably Mike Piazza.
That was in the 60th round, you know, late 60s or early 60s, whatever it was. As Tommy Lasorda said, you draft everybody that you like and then draft Mike Piazza.
Very well could be on his way to the Hall of Fame. Bottom of the 9th now. Diamondbacks 3-0 lead over Cincinnati. 5-1 here in this ball game. 0-2 the count.
Cincinnati and the Cardinals, last 10 games, both of them have won 4 of 10. As Cincinnati has given the Cardinals every opportunity to get back in it, and they just can't play, you know, much better than 500 baseball in the last 3 weeks.
On the inside corner, and Schumacher strikes out. Randy Wells through 5, and it's 5-1 as we head to the 6th. Tomorrow will come your way at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. What's on tap presented by Budweiser. Well, the schedule has officially come out for next season, and the Cardinals will open up at home for the 8th time out of the last 12 years. And they open up on a Thursday against San Diego. And the commissioner wanted to make sure that the World Series is not played in November, so March 31st will be the opener. We'll have an off day on Friday, then finish up the weekend with the Padres. Cardinals will have 4 10-game road trips next year.
4. Oh, those are killer trips. But they do get the Cubbies 3 times in St. Louis. Are all 3 of them weekend?
Let's see here. Yep, 3 weekend series against the Cubs.
But 4 10-game trips, that, not desirable.
Quickly to first. Barney retired. Ice Mound Autograph Night is tomorrow. Cardinals and Cubs. Join us early. Meet your favorite Cardinals and alumni. For more details, visit cardinals.com/promotions. It's the 4-3 city road trip, so I'm assuming those are 10 games. Randy Wells has had a big night on the mound and at the plate, 2 for 2, 2 RBIs. Cardinals will face Milwaukee 18 times next year. It's the most of any division opponent. Wells with a fly ball. Over to get it on the run, John Jay.
Babe Ruth is retired.
Will end the season on the road.
John Jay playing a little bit shallow and towards the right field line, gives chase on the ball in right center and tracks it down. How about Fukudome? He's had an interesting night, hasn't he?
3 strikeouts. Home and home series against the Royals next year in interleague play. Also our first trip ever to face the Orioles. Camden Yards in late June. Also get Tampa Bay, which will not be easy, obviously. They're very, very good. Club will play 92 games before the All-Star break. Ground ball to second. He puts it in play this time, and Fukudome is hitless. Bottom of the 6th rolls in when we come back. It's 5-1. Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of 1 at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by Taco Bell, open 2 a.m. or later. First pitch to Lopez was lined out to Coleman for the first out. Underway here in the bottom of the 6th.
Slicing line drive right to the left fielder.
Be very interesting to see what the Cubs do this offseason. High payroll with big contracts coming back next year, like Soriano, Zambrano, Ramirez. How do they retool? We talk about the Cardinals, what happens with Chicago, and it starts with their manager, their field manager, to see what happens next year.
Yeah, a lot of things that are going to happen. Where some of those veterans have comeback seasons where they try and trade them. Some of them appear that would be very difficult to trade.
If the Cardinals can come back, they'll be within 6 with 19 to play.
What was 64 again, Dan?
That was late September. We still have plenty of time. Grounded to second. The Cardinals with 4 base hits. That's it. 2 outs in this 5-1 game in the bottom of the 6th. Text poll: how many hot dogs can you eat at a game? 3 or more, 40%. Here's Holiday with 2 outs and nobody on. Has a lone RBI tonight. Good rip.
Or you take Albert out of this lineup and it looks even more anemic.
Got John Jay behind Holiday tonight, strike 2. That's Joe Patini, the first base coach tonight, not Dave McKay.
Let's look down yesterday for the Cubbies. They got a new first base coach. As Quaddy went from the third base coach to the interim manager. Ivan De Jesus was the first base coach. He's now the third base coach. And Bobby Denier, base running specialist years ago. Bobby D is now his first base coach for Quaddy. You can see Denier. And he lives in Kansas City. Set up away. Comes inside and right off the toe of Holiday. Executive trainer Barry Weinberg made sure that everything was okay.
Cardinals' first road trip next year, a 10-game trip. San Francisco, Arizona, then Los Angeles.
After a week at home or?
Week at home. 2-2. And he went. Holiday strikes out. Frustrated with himself. 5-1 as we head to the 7th. 200 innings mark. He easily could finish up this year around 230 before this season is through.
Two more outs would be at 215. I may even want him to push further.
Last year, you wondered if he was wearing out just a bit at the end of the year. He has been a workhorse. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike to Blake DeWitt. DeWitt is grounded out twice and also single.
It's funny, Danny, how we talk about the 200 innings as just a workhorse. Pitchers used to go 300.
The way that this season is finishing up as a team, Wainwright needs games like this to win the Cy Young.
Absolutely. That's why I say it's yet to be determined.
Picks up another strikeout. Catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th with the Division Series on TBS.
This next strikeout will be number 200 of the season. Currently in third place right now.
One out, nobody on. Liner kept in front by Feliz, stays with it and makes the play. Well, your four Cy Young candidates, it's not just Wainwright, but it's been a struggle for Halladay, ERA of 4.40, Jimenez 1-2, and Latos 1-1. Not in your four, Josh Johnson, and most people now put him out of the equation.
Yeah, he currently leads the league in ERA, but he's only got 11 wins, and he's through for the year. Latos kind of is a distant fourth. It'll be the first three because they're all tied for the league lead in wins.
Pitch that was up, and Ramirez picks up the base hit out to left with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
That's what we're talking about. There's just a hump. As you can't throw that breaking ball, even if you got a 12-6, if it ends up letter high, that ball becomes extremely hittable and should be thankful it's just a single. You see Adam Wainwright's 12-6 start about the waist. Lay off it because it's going to bounce. But if it starts up at your head, it's going to be a hanger.
Time to stretch here at Busch Stadium. Game 2, Cubs and Cardinals. Chicago on top 5-1. Joe Calambara is tonight's merchandise winner. Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. Cardinals hit a home run. Joe will qualify for the Hyundai Sonata drawing on September 30th with Al. To see all the Hyundai Sonatas, log on to mystlouishyundaidealers.com. Randy Wells pitching into the bottom of the 7th. Activity in the Cardinal bullpen, and John Jay leads it off.
Wonder how many entries we have for the Hyundai long drive inning. You hit a home run this inning, you qualify. We'll give away that Sonata.
Bouncer to second. One away.
Usually have about 10 to 12 contestants.
The course of 6 months gets to double digits. Here's Molina with 1 out and a 5-1 Cubs lead.
4 hits tonight for the Cardinals. One of those, a double off Molina, and an error sent him to third base with 2 outs. Stranded there. No walks for Randy tonight. That's really helped out. Check and see if the umpire's okay. Don't lose that voice.
Hear him up here. Call the balls and strikes. And a base hit into right field. Second hit for Molina tonight to go along with a ground out and a double.
Was out there running down and in and everything. Then he took something off speed, and then goes with that same little slider in. Nice little piece of hitting, inside out the ball to right field.
Feliz, high fly ball, right center. This may get down. No, it won't. Catch is made. And they will.
Molina didn't know how many outs.
Double up Yachty. That kind of night. Easy double play. On the fly ball into right center. They've out hit the Cardinals 10-5. Chicago leads it 5-1. Top of the 8th rolls in. And Wainwright still out there. Wainwright just under 100 pitches this evening. And Giovanni Soto will lead it off for Chicago. Soto, deep fly. Holiday back with room. One pitch, one away. Take a look at the game summary presented by Verizon Wireless. Wells and Wainwright. Wainwright now pitching into the 8th. He's given up the 10 hits, 5 earned runs. And Randy Wells, a story tonight, both at the plate and on the mound. Wells 2 for 3, couple of RBIs. And he's allowed just 5 hits, pitches by inning. The roughest for Waino in the 2nd and the 4th in those innings. Chicago picked up 4 of their 5 runs, 2 and 2 in those innings.
9 of the 10 hits have been in the first 4 innings.
You mentioned the bottom of the order has gotten at him.
Really has. Last time out, he retired all 3, but the first 2 times up, 7, 8, and 9, were 5 for 5 with a walk. At that time, the game may be over.
It's a crowd tonight of 40,509. Zambrano and Carpenter tomorrow at 6:30. Oh, 2. Zambrano going tomorrow. Get to see him on the mound pitching better of late. And Carpenter going for St. Louis. You know, going back to the play by Molina, Al, did you feel either he did not know how many outs there were, or if he felt that that ball was going to get down?
Well, either way, it's a mistake. If that ball gets down, he's still not, with his speed and his bad knee, he's not going to score from first base. And you can't, when you're trailing by 4 runs, you know, he takes off here, he's running. And now he sees the catch, he's halfway, does retrace his steps, but you know, you can, before runs, you can't assume that ball's getting down.
Base hit off the bat of Colvin. Holiday barehands it, fires a strike into second base. Nice play.
Good to see. A really good hustling play right there by Matt Holiday. The team's struggling to trail in this ball game, but he made sure that that ball would, usually as a sure double, was only a single. Breaking ball on the off-speed pitch is sliced down here. It goes off the auxiliary scoreboard. Karam's back in towards Matt Holiday. And watch this throw as he hustles it back into the infield very quickly. And just because he came up firing so quickly, Colvin goes back to the bag.
Darwin Barney came in hitting .357. 7 runs scored, a double, and an RBI in his last 10 games.
He's got a pretty good pedigree of being on championship clubs.
Oregon State.
Back-to-back championships there. Even his high school team won a state championship.
Up the middle and past Brendan Ryan. Base hit.
You don't even see Brendan Ryan, your pitcher, so he's playing in the hole once again and goes to his left, but can't come up with it as they anticipated him to pull the ball in the infield.
Well, Houston wins again tonight, and that gives the Astros 70 wins. That's only 4 back wins-wise of the Cardinals. Cardinals at 74 at the start of play tonight.
And that looks like it's going to be it for Adam. Salas is warming up along with Reyes, so see what Tony decides here. 107 pitches. Got the pitcher coming. Maybe he's going to say, you know, can you get him out? And Tony, showing the respect, tries to get him through this 8th inning. Wells has been as tough. He's going to leave him in there.
The pitch number 108 upcoming. And Randy Wells, first 2 times up, picked up base hits. But it's been his pitching that's been a story tonight. Really, it just carried over from the previous start against the Cardinals, in which he went 7 innings. He saw 2 pitches in his first 2 at-bats and picked up singles and RBIs. Bottom of the order again. Not to keep harping on the point, but that is what maybe is done in Wainwright tonight. Showing bunt and pulls back for a ball.
Another defense kind of wondering what is he going to do. Still believe he's going to bunt, but they're in the back of their minds, they're worried about him, the butcher boy, pulling that bat back and chopping down on a ball.
2-0.
What the heck? You know, you're leading 5-1 right here. About a hit and run.
Wainwright's spot is due up. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th, and then Brendan Ryan and Skip Schumacher. No Albert Pujols in this lineup tonight. Hope to see him tomorrow in Game 3. Feliz goes to third. Out there, double play. Double play. Started by Feliz to Brendan Ryan over to Lopez.
Had a scoring opportunity here, 1 out, runners at first and second. The bunt situation, watch how they pinch down on the corners. Schumacher's going towards first. Feliz gets the ball quickly, fires to Brendan Ryan, the shortstop, covering at third, and then it's the second baseman that covers at first. You want to bunt it hard enough, get it by the pitcher, third baseman field it, but they were very aggressive, came in here, and then Schumacher, because he was running towards second as the pitch was made. That's why I kind of said, you know, do a butcher boy, do a, you know, hit and run there. And if you hit down on the ball with nobody up the middle, punch, hit down on it, get it to go over the pitcher's head, any place from short to second base, and they can't field it.
Heads up play by Feliz. A couple of strong throws, both by Feliz, right at the chest of Brendan Ryan, and then across the diamond to Felipe Lopez, who's at first base tonight. Excuse me, Schumacher over at first. So we'll have a pinch hitter here for Wainwright, Randy Wynn. He'll pinch hit for Adam Wainwright. Brendan Ryan on deck, and then the top of the lineup. Cardinals trailing 5-1. 89 pitches tonight for Randy Wells, and Chicago leads it 5-1.
Really haven't pushed him.
Cardinals have a total of 5 base hits.
And Wells' last 2 starts, he's held the Cardinals to 10 hits and 14 scoreless innings.
Win a fly ball out to left for the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. Brendan Ryan tonight is single, and he's also popped out back in the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike. What has made Randy Wells successful tonight?
He's keeping the ball down and really changed speeds well. And gotten a lot of ground balls. Just going out there, the hitters aren't comfortable. Mark McGuire, I asked him the difference between when he made the start early in the season, never recorded an out. Cardinals got 6 hits and 5 runs over the first 6 batters. And then he pitched 7 shutout innings. I said, what was the difference? He said the first start, Randy got the ball up. Everyone was aggressive, looked for the first pitch, first hard pitch. And if it was up, they hit it. The next time out, he was able to adjust, got the ball down, utilizes off-speed pitches, and just, they had 5 scratch base hits. That's pretty much the same attack tonight.
Sharply hit Ramirez, stabs at it and makes the play. A wide throw, but Ryan is out at first. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Schumacher. There is activity in both bullpens. Cardinals will have a new hurler coming in.
It's like Salas.
And for Chicago, it's a righty that's just been basically playing catch, not really throwing all that hard off the mound. Quickly, 2 strikes. A lefty getting loose now as well.
There's Salas there, and it's Russell. And it's warming up for Chicago.
0-2 the count on Schumacher. He struck out twice tonight, also grounded out to short. Average at 272. Got him to reach for it, and a ground ball to second. Randy Wells impressive tonight. 5 hits allowed, and he's through 8. It's 5-1. AT&T Mobility. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Bank of America, Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Happy 30th birthday to a really big Cardinal fan, Chuck Jackson. Working with us tonight. Came in all the way from Cincinnati just to work this particular game for Fox Sports Midwest against the Cubbies. It's our Chevy call to the pen, and here is Fernando Salas. That's exactly what Fukudome needed. Get Wainwright out of there. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
He had the hat trick in the strikeouts. That's 3. You know what 4 is the golden sombrero. You know what 5 strikeouts is in the game?
Your release.
Your release.
Heard it once, I've heard it a million times. Mr. Rabowski.
Doesn't happen, but
no. Blake DeWitt. He has struck out, singled, pair of ground outs. 5-1 Cubs here in the top of the ninth. Fukudome getting a huge secondary lead. Salas better keep an eye on him. He was over a third of the way to the second base bag before even Molina had it in his glove. Pretty big lead at first here.
Phillies are trying to add to their 2-1 lead in the top of the ninth at Miami.
Phillies lead by a game over Atlanta.
Yeah, and Atlanta already lost, so could be a game and a half. It's a game right now.
San Diego with a half-game lead over San Francisco at the start of play.
They're leading Colorado 4-3 in the mountains in the top of the 7th inning.
Atlanta leads a wild card over San Francisco by a game and a half, 3.5 in front of Colorado.
And San Francisco and LA are just underway at home in Frisco.
One and 2 on Blake DeWitt.
How about the American League East? The Yankees and Tampa Bay are tied 7-7 in the bottom of the ninth in Florida. Tampa Bay has a half-game lead over the Bronx Bombers.
Strikeout of DeWitt. If you had to pick a team right now, who do you like to come out of the National League?
I said a month and a half, 2 months ago that Philadelphia was going to win the East.
Oswald had a complete game 4-hitter the other night.
It was 2-1. That was Cole Hamels, so it's not even Halladay.
I think the team that you'd really be scared to face, Colorado, if they get in.
Yeah, they're still, they're in third place, 2.5 games back, but they're playing the first place Padres, and Padres are leading that ball game. It's a 4-3 game in Colorado, so
see Ryan Ludwig and the Padres on Thursday.
Yeah, it's Ludwig, 2 outs in the top of the 7th, runner on first base, and a pitching change.
I'm with you, though. I think the Phillies, just having been there, was close at first. Last 2 years, make it to the World Series. They know what it takes, and they've addressed their pitching situation to an extent with Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, Oswalt and Halladay and Cole Hamels. We saw him. He's back.
Pretty good top 3. Line shot into left center field. Rasmus will cut it off. Fukudome on his way to third, and it's a double for Marlon Byrd. Went down to get it and smoked it into left center.
He's down in the zone, and he hits it out into center field. Kobe went to his right, had a little trouble with it, but Byrd hustled all the time. Would have been a double, and Runners at second and third and one out. Intentional pass to Ramirez.
So they'll load him up for Xavier Nady. Nady with one out, bases loaded. Couple of singles tonight, has an RBI, a run scored, and he's grounded out twice. And looks at a strike. Salas needs a double play.
He's very capable of it. He's a ground ball pitcher.
Nady with one home run in his career with the bases loaded. .275 hitter in this spot. Lines it for a base hit. 2 runs will come around to score to make it 7-1 Cubs. Really went down to get that pitch and picks up a base hit into center. 2 more RBIs and he has 3 on the night.
See right there, just, it's not a strike, it's below the strike zone, but as you said, very good piece of hitting. Birdwin got a pitch down. Yachty had to calm down Salas. Cubs are leading season series, but they still got tomorrow night and a weekend series in Chicago later on. Guess that's next weekend, right?
Next weekend we'll be there. Well hit into right center. Going back with room. Rasmus to make the catch. Two outs and 2 on. One ball, one strike, and Colvin. Colvin tonight walked and scored a run in the second, single and a run scored in the fourth, grounded out in the sixth, and a single last inning.
Salas has been up and down the yo-yo from Memphis to St. Louis, and for the most part he's done a very fine job.
Fly ball out to left. Holiday, plenty of room to make the catch. Sends us to the bottom of the ninth. All Cubs tonight at 7-1. and Pat Paris all standing by. Missouri Lottery, Cardinals live. Lefty James Russell into the ball game. 44 innings pitched this year, and our Chevy call to the bullpen. The lefty takes over. Cardinals have Lopez, Rasmus, Holiday all due up.
Russell, whose father Jeff pitched 10+ years in the major leagues, he'll take over here. He was a 14th round selection back in 07. 4th year in the organization for the Cubs. 2nd stint with the big club. Really has basically a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
And he replaces here in the 9th inning our Budweiser player of the game. No surprise here to see Randy Wells, the Belleville, Illinois native, as our player of the game. 8 innings, 5 hits, earned run, no walks, always a key, and 5 strikeouts. I thought maybe he would start the ninth, have a chance to complete this, but he'll go with the lefty James Russell with Lopez up, and then Rasmus, a lefty, on deck.
Maybe change your luck by changing pitchers.
7-1 in favor of the Cubs. First pitch and an out. Fukudome.
Going to lose quickly. Remember saying you'll stay around all day for a victory, but the counterpoint of that is if you're going to lose quick.
Get out of here.
Lose at 9.
There's Randy Wells.
Great job for Randy. His first appearance at Busch Stadium. And that had to be a thrill for him, but I'm sure a Cardinal fan growing up, not really mixed emotions, but he knows who's paying him now.
Watching Russell, I get the idea this guy has got a chance to be pretty good. And talking with the Cubs personnel, they say when he throws, it's very free and easy. Pretty good fastball, and that one is hit out to deep right on cue. A breaking ball and a home run for Colby Rasmus. Makes it 7-2 and his 22nd home run of the year.
And important, man, that it's against a left-handed pitcher. 22nd home run. And still learning as a hitter. Throws that ball down and in. Got a real pretty swing, especially when you make that, you low ball hitter and just that connect and that follow through and the ball just gets launched.
A lefty, 0-2 pitch and a breaking ball.
Sure. Well, that's what happens if you miss location. You're ahead in the count. And kidding Kobe about, last night, he had the bases loaded and got underneath the pitch. Said you just missed it. And he kind of said, yeah, he threw it into my zone. Down and in.
Short. Darwin Barney comes up with a hot shot off the bat of Holiday. 2 outs, nobody on, 7-2. And the pinch hitter will be Nick Stavinoa. Stavinoa pinch hitting for John Jay.
Got a base hit last night. He's been up and down a few times, but he's done a very, very nice job as a pinch hitter this year. I had a long talk with him about the difference between AAA and the big leagues. And he really said, that you really have to be aggressive. And we talk about as a pinch hitter, the only time you can be criticized if you're not ready. If you're taking pitches up there, you've got to be aggressive. But he said that in the minor leagues,
ground ball to short. This will do it. We'll continue that conversation tomorrow night at 6:30. Game number 3 tomorrow at 6:30. Cubs will be looking for a sweep. 7-2 our final tonight.